Man, I gotta say, making these videos can be kind of hard. I'll say something, it seems like it's coming across well, and then I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh man, that was not good. I just made a video, and I watched it the second time, and I realized it was negative. It was a negative video. It was focusing too much on my fears. I think it is important to address the fears. It is important to talk about them, but I feel like I dwelled too much on them and I didn't resolve them enough. So here's the deal. People with ADHD, it's statistically shown we have a higher probability of struggling, okay? Struggling in our academic environments, struggling in careers, struggling in our marriages. Statistically, it's shown that's more likely. But I do not believe it has to be that way. I believe, personally, that ADHD has a specific function in the world, in mankind in general. I think that it exists for a good purpose and reason. And I've talked to therapists who are against this line of thinking, who do not have ADHD, who think that me saying this is kind of like a more damaging thing to say. No, just get him treatment. And I'm actually all about treatment. Treatment helped me get through medical school. I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. If I did not take medication, I would have failed out of general chemistry. I would have failed out of organic chemistry. I never would have gotten into medical school in the first place. And had I gotten to medical school, I would have failed out of medical school. So I am all about medication if you need it. So right now I'm not taking medication. I haven't taken medication for several months. Why? Because for me, when I need medication is when I'm learning something new. So when I get to a rotation, like an internal medicine rotation, and there are constantly people teaching me new things, and it's a new environment, and I'm supposed to be all these different places, different times, I have to keep track of all this information, I need the medication in order to function properly. Now, once I've been in an environment for quite a while, and I'm familiar with it, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know all the information, and now it's just me doing something that I enjoy, like, for example, talking to people. I like to talk to people. I do. I don't need the medication. It's kind of like, yes, I would be more effective with it. But I've got enough ways to get around it that I can function okay. I did not need medication for pretty much my entire psychology degree. And had I gone down the route as a counselor, I probably wouldn't have needed it. I may have needed it right at first when I'm getting used to like the paperwork and things like that. But after like a couple of months of once I knew how to do everything and kind of had like a flow going, I could have gone on medication and been probably just fine. Now this is me speculating. That was a huge tangent, but an important tangent. Let me get back to the main thing I'm trying to talk about here. So my main concern, my main coming in subject was to say that ADHD, yes, there is a higher probability of failing at marriage, failing at life, failing at school, failing at career. But I'm trying to say that it doesn't have to be that way. And I believe that if a kid with ADHD is able to understand their own mind and understand that school replication, replicative type activities are going to be difficult for you. It does not mean you're stupid, so do not give up. This is just, it's harder for birds to swim, period. Birds are better at flying. I believe that my creative and explorative novelty, discovery, willing to do things out of the box, willing to try things a different way, actually not even willing to, but being driven to do things out of the box, I think these are all good things. And I think that they're necessary things. And I think that your kid who has the same thing, that is a good thing. Now, if we don't know what to do with it, like if you're if you as a parent don't have ADHD and your kid does, and you're like, this kid's not acting like my other kids, it can be a difficult thing. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of parents of kids with ADHD really struggle. I've got a kid with ADHD. It is harder. It's harder. Ask my wife. Significantly harder than the rest of the kids as far as raising them, because this child doesn't act the same. Their decision making isn't based on desired outcomes. It is, what's the most interesting thing? What is the thing that has the most novelty? What thing has the most creativity involved in it? Those kinds of things, which is not always the thing that you want them to do. So it is harder. But if we understand and we help them through these things, they can go on to be, I believe, the next generation of entrepreneurs and people who create things and people who come up with new ideas and new ways, and the people that are pushing the fields of science and pushing the fields of creativity and the next world's revolutionists in good, positive ways. But don't let them fall into that trap of thinking that they're stupid or that there's something wrong with their brain. Now, is their brain different than other people? Absolutely. Man, I struggle with some really basic things that are just... sometimes I can't even play games right. I mean, I just get too all over the place. I play them differently. An optimal way to discover things. Anyway, point of all this is, yes, there's some scary statistics out there. I'm sure you've come across with your kid and ADHD. It doesn't have to be that way. Don't focus on the fear. My hope, my dream for my efforts is that your kid is going to realize that there's somebody else out there. There's actually a lot of people out there, and I hope all the people who adults who get through ADHD and make it to the other side will come to me or come to somebody. Some of them are making channels out there. Some are writing books. I hope that they will make themselves known so that the younger kids, millions and millions of kids with ADHD, will know that just because you have ADHD, you got D's and C's throughout all of school, does not mean you're doomed to failure. It just doesn't mean that. I mean, I did terrible. I was released. I was elected senior class president and released from that position because my GPA was so low. I took pre-algebra 3 times. I felt so stupid. But you know what? I wasn't stupid. I just struggled with replicative tasks. There's tasks that are very creativity driven and very discovery based. And I'm quite good at those. And then there are a set of tasks that are all about copying the same activity over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, which is very monotonous and quite boring, frankly. And I'm not very good at those. But here's a message for your kids. Kids, if you're watching this, you need to do your best. You may not be the best at doing these activities. You may be worse than everybody else. It may be just a struggle for you to get through it. But you've got to try it because if you don't, you're not going to advance to the next level, the next stage of your life very well. It's going to be more difficult for you. I know it's hard for you to do the math. I know it's hard for you to do the homework. Do your best. And even if your best pulls out as barely getting a C or a D, that's okay. Just do your best. Just keep pushing. You'll get through it. College was a lot better for me. College, if you do college right, it can be better for you too. That's what my book is about. And there's hope out there, and I'm going to share as much of it as I can with everyone. Thank you. Bye.